What up, YouTube? We are back with another Warcraft Rumble video, and in this one, we are covering the best Cenarius deck. Now, before I show you the deck, I do want to give a huge shout out to Warcraft Rumble and Blizzard for sponsoring today's video, so thank you guys so much. Now, let's go ahead and get to the deck. It's a doozy, boys and gals and everyone else. So we have Cenarius here, and the talent of choice is going to be Force of Nature, which is summons a Trinit whenever a rooted enemy dies. If you're not aware, whenever Cenarius is spawned, he has a big AoE around him that heals allies that enter it and root enemies that are in it. So whenever an enemy dies basically close to him, which is going to be quite often, you will actually spawn one of these tenants. Now, in addition to that, Ancient of War is going to be the main tank of this with Lightning Rod, which means if we summon him with 4 or more, if you're not aware of Ancient of War, you can play him for literally any cost. And of course, he gets additional health and damage the higher, more gold that you spend on him. So a 10 out of 10 gold cost Ancient of War is a beefy boy. Well, a beefy tree. But anyway, with Lightning Rod, any spell or unbound unit will be redirected to Ancient of War's current location, which is pretty sick. That's that green light that sort of bounces from wherever you were trying to use a spell over to Ancient of War. If you see it in PvP, that's what it is. It's not like some bug or anything. Like, it's working as intended. That's just Ancient of War, like hard countering and wrecking your spell. So yeah, it feels bad when it works against you, but really, really good when it works for you. So with that, everyone is going to be basically coming to my Cenarius and my Ancient of War, which means they're going to get rooted. And if and when we kill them in our little death ball that we're making here, I will again be getting more of those little tenant tree guys. Now, and to help our death ball survive a little bit longer, we are running Fairy Dragon with Fey Blessing. So once per deploy, grant resist to a nearby ally. The main target is going to be our Ancient of War to make him just an absolute wrecking ball unit. But Fairy Dragon could also be used on the Tauren here, because I'm only using her as the current meta for PvP or the passives for PvP right now is going to be that gold rush, which means you just have a ton of gold. And I'm using Momentum, which is after connecting a charge, immediately charge a second time if possible. This is going to help really clear lanes, so that's why I like her at a 4 cost, when you can basically get this really, really quickly with the gold rush. Now, to keep the murder ball alive and help to make sure that we are killing everything that is in the murder ball, I do love Witch Doctor, because on kill with the Spirit Ward, which is on kill, grant a shield to nearby allies, absorbing the next hit against them. This just makes everyone in a tight-knit circle nice and strong with shields and the healing from Cenarius. And then because we do have the Dragon Towers on right now, I'm also running Dark Spear Troll with Big Bad Voodoo, which is a just hard counter in a lane by himself if left alone and not answered to one of the Dragon Towers, because he can literally take it down himself. And then I'm running Execute. Less people are running Execute now, or just spells really in general in PvP, because of Ancient of War and his Lightning Rod talent. But I do like it situationally, so we're going to use it in this one. If I needed to do something else, I could. But I like our chances. I like this deck. All right, so let's jump straight into the game, guys. Let's see, and you can see that my Cenarius is actually in the top 5 of my best decks in PvP this season, and I am at Dark Iron Overseer 1. So a non-trivial amount of PvPing on this account, right? It's not like I'm sitting in silver or gold. Like, this is Dark Iron Overseer 1. So, and he is well over 3K along with my Onu, which if you haven't already, I'll link the video for my Onu deck for PvP at the end of this one. That one is also sick, so you're going to want to check that out. But this one is all about Cenarius. So let's jump right into him. I think I've seen more Cenariuses than Onu. Onu takes a little bit of ramping, but Cenarius can be so good by himself because he can heal everything and deal damage and root, and he's just big bad, and he's cheaper than Onu. And arguably tanker, because he actually has the resist trait. He has a non-trivial amount of health for a leader that isn't a tank. So there's that. All right, so we're going, oof, this is going to be a little rough, admittedly. I don't have a lot of armor in this, going up against a Drakisath, but we are going to do everything that we can. So let's get our death ball rolling. He death ball at the top, which is not amazing. Let's see if I can get all right, I want to get this going up here. All right, that's going to basically hard counter him. All right, let's get a Dark Spear going as well. Oh boy. Use that. And then let's do this. Boom. All right, cool. We cleared him actually really, really quick, so we love that. All right, I'm gonna get some help over there. Let's go. See, and that was a spell that just bounced over to my guy here. Let's go ahead and counter these guys back. Love that. Get this going. Now, all right, we are in good control now. They have another push coming, but we're just gonna kind of quickly answer and just be a bully. Let's do this. All right, you can see that our push in the top lane is actually still just doing phenomenal, so we're going to keep that going there. I'm going to get this going over here. All right. See, we are just hard countering with all of our Dark Spear Trolls. Makes it for a really easy push. Again, Drakisath would have been a very scary counter, but again, we just the Ancient of War pulling the spells away from my side push was really the answer that helped us win this. And why this deck is so good, because you're keeping your Ancient of War basically either topped off with shields with your Witch Doctor or with heals from your Cenarius. Either way, Ancient of War, once you get him to a decent amount of health, is just an absolute unit. And of course, with this deck, you do want to use him at 4 or more gold cost. So now you can see that my Cenarius is at 3,669 honor, which is a non-trivial amount of honor. Again, you can see that if you're not familiar with the PvP ranks, then I am in the Dark Iron Overseer, which is above platinum, which is above gold, and above silver, obviously. But so it's a non-trivial, I guess, rank in PvP. And both of them, you need to have your Cenarian leaders get a bunch of honor. I think you need like 8k to complete all the quests within the Cenarian family thing here. So I've obviously been able to do that very, very easily with this, and I'm basically have cleared it with these two decks exclusively. So make sure you test out this deck, guys. I'll put it back on screen right now. Let's see it. Now let's talk about some changes you can make. Now, again, I think the Force of Nature Summons of Trinit is a good pick for this deck because I'm pulling everyone in, but a part of me really thinks that I should have gotten the Revitalized talent, which is, if you're not familiar, allies entering Tranquility trigger an additional heal pulse. And honestly, with him being a main healer, like, I would rather kind of have that than what I'm using, but Force of Nature is a good option as well. So if you are at a point where you haven't picked your first talent yet, or you're close to getting your second one or third, whatever it is, Revitalize is definitely one that I would have, in hindsight, wish I would have prioritized. Everyone else is flexible as well. Ancient of War, again, I'm using the Lightning Rod. I also sometimes fluctuate with Behemoth, especially right now where we have the Gold Rush, sort of attribute in PvP, because you're just getting a ton of gold and you're just going to be gold capped really quickly. So getting a big Behemoth, 10 gold cost Ancient of War is just a beast in PvP. It's very, very difficult to answer, especially when you put that in tandem with the Fairy Dragon with the resist trait. Now again, you don't have to use that. I still think Lightning Rod is by far the best option for it. It is a tank that can take a huge beating. He is already armored and has a bunch of health. So getting him the resist trait makes him just an all-around awesome tank. Okay, so that's why I like to pair him with Fairy Dragon. Fairy Dragon is honestly, for a 3 cost, not bad. It does a non-trivial amount of damage. It is kind of a slow, it does have a low range, so you do have to get close in order to really get the damage you get from it. But honestly, I'm basically using this as a spell that puts resist on my tanks. The only other one that I would say you could change in this deck is obviously the Bloodhoof Tauren. This is a personal preference of mine, just because of the Gold Rush talent. Let's see what other options you could utilize. If you level up your Swamp, what's his name? Swamp, the new one, this guy. He's also a decent pick, especially with Cenarius, because I'll show you why. So Bog Beast, that's his name. So mine's obviously a little low. He's only level 18 and he's uncommon. I don't have the talents that I would really want. Ideally, you would use Bog Beast with Flourish, which heals receive are 30% more effective. The reason being that having another Cenarian mini in this is because Cenarius is a beast leader, because Cenarian allies gain 20% extra empty HP, which means if and when they spawn into the game, they will have 20% less HP, but still it's not 20% less. It's just their total HP plus a 20% opportunity of more HP. And because he's a healer, he can easily top them up, which is again why I said that you would ideally go with the healing talent on him and then obviously get the healing one on Bog Beast as well. That way, between the two of them, you can really do a ton of damage. Now, keep in mind, Bog Beast is a resistant tank, so he has no armor, so keep that in mind. If you do this, your main tank for armor dealing would be Ancient of War, but still a really good deck here nonetheless, because you do have the 2 ranges that can take care of all your flying, and then a spell that you can use whatever you want, typically execute. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Once again, thank you so much to Blizzard and Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring today's video. I greatly appreciate it, and hopefully you guys appreciate these decks, because honestly, the Cenarian leaders are awesome. I very much enjoyed using them in PvP. I enjoyed ranking them up and learning more about them. You can see that I have all their decks gold because of the dungeons that we had, and I'm having a great time with them. So let me know what you think about this deck in the comment section below. Go use it freely in PvP. No need to give me credit, just ascend the ranks and profit. Until next time, guys, I hope to see you in a game or in a video soon. Take it easy.